Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. My friends over at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to do the Mediterranean Surf Doily. Now this is suggesting Aunt Lydia's crochet thread. Myself, I have a hard time using thread, so obviously I don't want to waste a pattern because I can't use the yarn. So what I like to do is I like to substitute. So in my case I substituted with the Patons Grace, but I also changed the hook size from being for a 3.5 millimeter size E to making it smaller so that I don't change the size of this particular doily to a 2.5 millimeter, just approximately the size C as in cat. So when you're using the Patons Grace, if you decide to, it turns out to be 101 grams. So when you look at the balls, they're 50 grams each. So it takes just 2 balls and a smidgen of a third. And it depends on your tension, of course, if you would like to do this kind of concept. So I have a sample that I've done in multiple colors, and I don't have that listed out anywhere because I just randomized the colors as I went. There's not a big pattern. It's only 16 rounds. It's actually pretty easy, and there's an easy repeat going on in this thing. So if you think that each row is going to be a new lesson, that's not the case. You'll see things will repeat in time. So let me just show you the sample that I have, and we're going to continue our journey today. So here's what my doily sample looked like in my practice. Now I did screw up in the cross stitch here, so it looks a little more open on the real sample. So this morning I did this until midnight last night, so I was too lazy to go to the office because I wasn't understanding the cross stitch quite nicely. The thing about crochet is that if you're screwing it up, always screw up in the same way, therefore it's never wrong. So I will be teaching it properly here this morning as I blew up the photo and I realized where I was going wrong. So when I did the crisscross, I was actually crisscrossing the stitches when I actually should not have been doing that. So I will demonstrate that. So we're gonna kick off quite nicely. You can change the colors as often or as little as you want to. I'm going to be using that solid color red like I showed you, and it's actually quite a fun pattern. Now I do think there is a mistake in the pattern when it comes to these points here, because this section right here refers to a space that's not there in the pattern. So I am going to be demonstrating that, putting that in, that extra space that it's referencing that is not there when you're going to do this stuff. So no big deal. Again, if you're gonna change anything, just be consistent and it's gonna be a good day. So I have wet blocked this, so I wet it last night before bed and then I just let it dry on the counter, and therefore it looks lovely, and the outsides are supposed to be kind of rough. So let's begin by creating a slip knot. This is an intermediate level project. So some things are always assumed when they become more bigger levels. I am using that size, a 2.5 millimeter size C. C is about 2.75 millimeters, but it's close enough for me. So I'm going to start in chain 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we're going to just attach then to the very first chain over here to create the center ring of your doily. So just yarn over and pull through, and therefore there's the center ring, and we're gonna put the straggler around the outside of that ring so they get stuck underneath. This is the beginning chain, and let's begin round number 1. Being this is an intermediate level, I'm only gonna just tell you what the repeat is, and then you do the repeat. So you're not gonna be following this whole thing step by step in the sense that you see me do all stitches all the way around. So let's begin, and you're going to chain 3, which will count as your first double crochet, and in the center ring I need you to put 23 more double crochets in there. Okay, so just continue to count those, get your 23, and then I'll meet you back here in just a moment for round number 2. So I now have my 24th in there. So remember the chain 3 counts as one, and then there's 23 double crochets. So that gives you a count of 24. Need you to verify that before you finish, and then you're going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3. Now going forward in this video, I'm going to give you the instructions, and then I'm gonna tell you to slip stitch when you get around. I'm going to assume that you're going to do that. So every time we're going to start a new section, we'll be starting the section from scratch, unless we have to finish off somewhere unique, of course. Let's begin round number 2. In round number 2, you're going to chain 4, which will count as a double crochet, and chain 1. So 1, 2, 3, that's your double crochet, and the 4th one is a chain 1 space. Going into the very next stitch, just double crochet, and then complete it with the chain 1, and then going into the next one, double crochet, and then chain 1. When you get back around, you are going to double crochet the very last one and chain 1, and then attach it to the 3rd chain up with a slip stitch, and meet me for round number 3 in just a moment. So let's begin round number 3. I would once in a while just count as you're making sure that you're getting the right counts all the way around. So just once in a while I would do that. Round number 3 is something we will repeat in the future. So it's a nice easy round. So you're gonna chain 3, which will count as the first double crochet that is sitting on top of the double crochet that exists right below it. The next space here will have 2 double crochets in it. So the repeat pattern all the way around is that there will be 1 double crochet in this double crochet and then 2 double crochet in the next chain 1 space. And I need you to do that all the way around. For round number 3, join it with the slip stitch, and the space is the last one before the slip stitch, just so that you know, and then slip stitch it to the top of the first chain 3. See you at the end of this round number 3. As we begin round number 4, you're noticing that it's not sitting quite flat. Do not worry about it at this time. We are going to wet block this at the end, but you will notice that different rounds will create different opportunities for it to be able to sit more flat. So if you're seeing this at this moment, don't flip out, and we will move on to round number 4 in just a second. In round number 4, I believe that there's a mistake in the pattern. And the reason for it is that the repeat, when it gets you to do something, it doesn't create a chain 1 space that's referenced in round number 5 as the center chain 1 space. It's not there. So I'm going to show you the way that I think it should be. So I'm not saying that the designer's wrong. I'm just saying that I don't know what I'm saying. So let's begin. We're going to just chain up 1, and we'll do 1 single crochet in the first. So you're going to skip 2 double crochets, and you're going to double crochet in the third one away, and then chain 1. Now it states that we're going to do a treble and then a chain 1, and you do that 3 times, but because if you do it 3 times, let's just do it 3 times. I'll show you. So you're gonna treble and then chain 1 and then treble and then chain 1 and then treble, chain 1 after that. And then it states then to put in a double crochet at after the end. So I'm gonna show you, this is what it's saying to do. So you can see that the 3 trebles, the middle treble is actually the middle of the petal. There's no chain 1 space there. So what I believe that we should be doing is that after the treble we're gonna chain 1 and put another treble in there. So there should be a total of 4 trebles in there, chain 1 and then a double crochet. And what that will do is that when you pull it out like this, you can see that there is actually a chain 1 space right in the center, which is something that you can reference. So whatever you decide to do, if you decide to follow the instructions for the pattern, then what you should do then in round number 5 is use the center treble if you don't have the space to work with. So that's something that you can decide to do, and that's kind of what I did too. So that's up to you. So then skip 2 single crochets, or skip 2 stitches and then start again. So skipping 2 and start with your double. I'll show you the way that I think it should be done. So double, chain 1 and then a treble, and we're gonna do that 4 times. So chain 1, treble again, chain 1. So that was the second treble going in. This is gonna be the third, chain 1 and then the 4th treble, chain 1 and then a double, and then that will give you your chain 1 space to reference in the future. So skipping 2 and then single crochet in the next, and then skipping 2 and then begin that all over again. I'll see you at the end of this round, number 4. So I've now just finished number 4. We'll be doing number 4 again in the future. You'll see that, and actually I believe it's done 2 more times in the future. So whatever you decided to do here, whether you followed the pattern as written or did my little change, make sure you're just consistent in the future. So the next one, we have to start off in the point. It says to slip stitch, but when it comes to this doily work, I always get like really frantic on the way that things look. I would honestly, and I'm going to do it, I'm going to fasten off completely at this point, and I'm just gonna weave in this end, and I'm just gonna show you how to hide this in the back. So take this strand and put it through a tapestry needle. So turn the doily over to the back side and just glide it through some of the stitch work in the back. Now You could have slip stitched, and I've done that in the past, but it always is visible. So why not start the next round with a nice fresh round? And so this will happen again in the future. So this is just an option for you. This is the only time I'll show you how to fasten off though, so I don't waste too much of your time today. So just get it right to the end, cut it, and when we go to start round number 5, we're going to start right in the chain 1 space of one of these points, and let's begin that next. So create a slip knot to begin, and what I want you to do at this point is that keep a long tail so that you can fasten off, and I need you to go to that chain 1 space. So it's right, so there's 2 trebles. If you did it my way, there's 2 trebles and then 2 trebles. It's the space, it's the center space of a point. Now you're just going to do, so it's already on the hook, so you're just going to scoop the yarn and pull it through, and then you have 2 loops, pull through 2. That's a standing single crochet, and so then you have a nice fresh start, and you'll use this tail to hide in the ends later. So this round, really simple, is just going to begin, and you're going to chain 7. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and then just stretch to the next point and go into the chain 1 space. It's right in the center, and go right into the space, single crochet, and then chain 7, and then next point, and etc. So please do this all the way around, round number 5. So just come all the way back around. Number 5 is done, and we now have all these spaces. They're called loops in here. Now see this straggler? What you can do for round number 6 as we begin is that you're going to chain 3, and that'll count as a double crochet that's sitting on top of the single. You're then going to put 9 double crochets, and if you go right at the top of those in the chain itself, like around the chain, put this with the chain, and then it will get stuck underneath. So let's count these out together. So I've already done 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. So now that 9 are in, the next one, you can just let the straggler fall out of the way, is right in the single crochet. So there's going to be 1 in there, and in the next chain 7 space another 9, and etc. And please do that all the way around. This is round number 6. So let's move along to round number 7. You'll see that it's pretty much almost sitting flat, which is awesome. So we're going to repeat some elements. See how we did this section here? It's going to be slightly different, but it's going to look similar to that. We're going to start off by chaining 4. So 1 2 3, there's your double crochet, and the 4th is a chain 1 space. Skipping the next stitch out, you are going to just double crochet, and then chain 1, skip the next stitch and double crochet, and chain 1, skip the next stitch, and etc. And you'll do that all the way around for round number 7. And when you get all the way back around, you'll be skipping the last stitch before this final chain, and then you will slip chain 1, and then you'll slip stitch to the 3rd chain up. I'll see you at the end of this round number 7. Now that round number 7 is done, you can see it looks really quite pretty. So you're going to just chain 3 for round number 8. That's your first double crochet, and like round number 3 is that we filled in those spaces, remember, with 2 double crochet. We're going to do the same thing here. So each chain 1 space will have 2 double crochet, and then each double crochet will have a double crochet. And you'll do that all the way around, so you will see that this will really nicely have this sit down flat after you're pretty much done this round. So just double crochet in the doubles and 2 double crochet in the chain 1 spaces for round number 8. So I'm coming up to the end of number 8. So I'm just going to slip stitch. I'm going to have you fasten off at this point. If you want to follow exactly the way the pattern is written, that's up to you. I really struggled myself, so I'm going to show you a different way of starting round number 9, which is the crisscross, which is why I kind of screwed up the original in the first place. So the pattern's not wrong, it's just I was confused, so I'm going to show you a different way. That's the whole point of a tutorial today. So let me get you started on that next. So round number 9 is a crisscross, and the crisscross is actually not crisscrossing in the sense of the rows here, but it's actually a stitch where it crisscrosses in the middle, so you actually have the base of the project, and it crisscrosses in the middle, and then you'll have a space on top. The easiest way that I thought for myself to learn is to do it as a standing treble to begin. So just put it onto the hook and wrap the hook 3 times, and I'm pinching it so that it doesn't unravel, and then going into the next stitch. like this. And then I'm gonna pull through. And then what we're going to do is that we're going to pull through the 2 loops twice. So just yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Now I'm going to pick it up as if I'm doing the regular work now. So I'm going to skip the next 2 stitches, and you're going to yarn over, and you're going to go to the 3rd stitch away, and you're going to yarn over and pull through, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through all the sets by 2s by 2. Okay, but you're not done. You can see almost it's happening, and then chain 2, and you're going to double crochet right where they intersect, right here, and that will be how I would start it if I were you. So I'm gonna pull this out so you can see it's a crisscross from this perspective. So just reverse if you would like to learn how to do that again, but the remaining of the stitch work that we have is that we are going to then start, and we're going to begin again. So you're going to start the next one by yarning over 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, and you're gonna go into the same stitch where this one is coming out of, and you're gonna pull through, and then just pull through 2 sets only. So pull through 2 and 2 and hold, and then you're going to skip 2 stitches and then go to the 3rd. So yarning over, go to the 3rd, pull through, and now pull through all of them that all the way back up to the top. So pull through 2, there's 4 sets, 2, 2 and 2, but you're not done. You have to chain 2 and double crochet right where they intersect. I'll show you again. So to begin, see how it's crisscrossing? Isn't that neat? So you're gonna wrap 3 times, going into the same stitch where this one is coming out of. Pull through. Pull through 2 and 2 only and hold. Skipping 2, yarn over, go to the 3rd one away, pull through, and now pull through the sets of 2 all the way back to the top. But you're not done. You're going to chain 2 and double crochet right where they intersect. I want you to do this all the way around. This is round number 9, and hopefully the way that I had you started is a lot easier. So I'll see you back here in just a moment. So now that I came all the way around, the very last stitch here, I'm going to just slip stitch to the top here of where we started. So you will notice that the last stitch of the last leg shares the first stitch that we started with, and so this is pretty much the hardest part of this whole thing, and we're now going to move on to round number 10. In round number 10 we're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to leave the straggler on top of the line so it gets stuck underneath, and we're in the first leg of one of these cross stitches. So the next is a chain 2 space, so you're going to put 2 double crochets into that chain 2 space, and then you're going to skip this last leg of that cross stitch and just go to the first one. So just 1 double crochet in the first leg only, and then 2 double crochets into the chain 2 space, and you're gonna do this all the way around. So you skip that last leg of this cross and go to the first one, 1 there, and then 2 into the next chain 2 space, and so on. Please do this all the way around. This is round number 10. So I'm coming up to the end of number 10, slip stitching, and let's move on to round number 11. So round number 11 is the same thing as these points that we did way down here. Remember those? So the way that you did it here should be the way that you're going to do it here. So let's begin to do this. So we're going to chain 1 and do 1 single crochet in the first, and then remember that you're skipping 2 and double crocheting into the 3rd. I'm going to do it the way that I want to do it myself. So just chain 1 and then I'm gonna treble, and I'm gonna do that a total of 4 times. So remember, I'm improvising on the pattern. Okay, once you get that forward, chain 1 and then double crochet to finish. Then skip 2, single crochet in the next, and then skip 2 and then begin that all over again. So you should have 30 sets of these by the time you get all the way back around. So please do this for round number 11. So I just came to the end of number 11. I would fasten off at this point. Again, we remember how we did it over here. A nice fresh part. I'm gonna do that again. So I'm just going to fasten off. I'll weave this in later. So what I want to do for round number 11 is exactly what we did here. So I'm going to start off, and just for the record, just so if you're keeping an eye on me, I just literally finished a ball of yarn. So I'm on my second one now behind the scenes. So you're just gonna go to any of the chain one space that is in the middle of here, and you're going to join it with a standing single crochet and then chain 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and then go to the next chain one space that's directly in the center, single crochet and then chain 7 and do that all the way around. So please do this all the way around. This is round number 12. So just finished round number 12, nice quick one. So let's begin number 13. You're going to chain 3 right where you're sitting, and that's standing on top of the other single crochet that's there. So this time in the chain 7 spaces, and this is a straggler, I would put it underneath so it catches as well. You're only gonna do 7 doubles in a row. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So once you get your 7 done, then you're just gonna go to the next single and double in there just for stabilization, and then 7 and then 1 in, into the single. So last time we were doing down here it was 9, this time it's only 7. So I'll see you at the end of round number 13. Let's begin round number 14. Right where we are, we want to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, that's a double crochet, and the fourth one is a chain 1 space. Like it was, it says to repeat round number 7. It's like it was right here. So you're skipping the next one out, and then you're double crocheting the next, and then polish it off with the with the chain 1 space. Skip the next, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 and double crochet in the next. Please do that all the way around round number 14. Let's move on to round number 15. It's the second last row. You're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then in each chain 1 space you're going to apply 2 double crochet like you had been before. So if it's a double crochet, throw in a double crochet, and if it's a chain 1 space, put in 2 double crochet. I will see you at the end of this round, round number 15. So I completed round number 15. Round number 16, I would recommend that we go back to the way that it's written on, it says to repeat round number 4. I would repeat exactly as written. So I would not do that idea of me showing you how to make that extra space, because we're not attaching to anything. It's the final round. So, and it will be a little bit faster for you as well. So just chain up 1 in 1 single crochet in the first, and then skipping over the 2 and double crocheting into the third one, chain 1, and we're only going to put 3 trebles in a row. So we're just going to do a treble, chain 1 and a treble, chain 1 and a treble, and then you're going to then just chain 1 and then put 1 double crochet in. So last time we had been doing the 4s, and then you're going to skip 2 and then single crochet in the next. So then it'll be a nice section like that. So please do this all the way around. This is your final round, number 16. So now I've just finished it. I'm just gonna trim off my yarn. I've already shown you how to fasten off and hide in your yarn, so that's what I would do. Just take that tapestry needle and just weave it through the back side, and then you're good to go. So this is a really neat idea. So what I have to do at this point is get this whole thing wet, like damp, and then just kind of use your hands and flatten it out on a flat surface and let it dry. So put it on a surface that you don't mind being wet for a bit. And then you can also steam it, and it also does stay in the pattern that you can put the iron on steam mode and just turn it to the back side and just iron the back side of your doily as well. So please enjoy, and this is the Mediterranean Surf doily, and once I block it, it's gonna be fabulous. Yes, for sure. Have a good day. We hope to see you again real soon. Bye bye.